Hello, everyone. We're still waiting for a few more people to join. It's good to see you here. It's good to see some of your faces. Feel free to turn on your cameras if you want. Feel free to keep them turned off if you, whatever you prefer. Uh, we're waiting for a few more people to join, and then we will start with the program today. I hope everyone is fine. We'll try to keep it under 60 minutes today, so we'll try to be effective. I'm sure you have a lot of on your plate, a lot of work to do. So we'll be happy to share quickly, effectively, some of the opportunities that are coming up. Okay, let's wait a few more seconds. Still some people in the waiting room. Okay, we have 48 participants at the moment. Once we reach 50, we will start and the others will join later. Okay. So, hello everyone. My name is Jaroslav Valuk. I'm from Transitions, which is a media development organization. Welcome to our meeting today. At this point, there are 51 of us. A few more people are coming. We still wanted to keep it in this kind of meeting mode so that we can have some exchange, even though we're quite a large crowd. We didn't want to do it in this broadcast webinar mode because we really would like to start our collaboration and our networking in this way. We will try to keep it under 60 minutes today. We'll try to be quick and effective. Please, if you will have any questions throughout the hour that we will spend together, please keep posting them in the chat. There will be also a Q&A session, so you will be able to ask the questions directly. But if you will have any questions, please post them in the chat. We'll try to answer as much as possible today. But if we don't manage to answer all your questions, don't worry, we'll save them. And there's going to be a follow-up email after this meeting where there will be all the important points, links, contacts, and the answers to your questions. So keep it in mind. Yeah, thank you, Marilyn. Good question in the chat or suggestion that it would be interesting to know who is here. So yes, please, everyone, feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. That's a very smart idea. I'm just jealous that it was not my idea. And it would be great. It would be great to learn who is here with us. We have like really diverse group from many different countries and regions. So I hope it's going to be really exciting today. We're recording this session. Don't worry, this video will not be published anywhere. It will be just made available to those who register but cannot join us live. I hope you're okay with that. So, in terms of the program today, in the first part, we will look into the trainings needs. As we announced in this invitation, we really need your help identifying the current most urgent needs that you as journalists or media workers, media professionals have. So we will have, don't worry, we'll not do any exercises or anything, but we have a quick survey for you. And we would like to use the opportunity that we have you here now live to help us fill in the survey. It's going to be extremely valuable for us. After we do this little needs assessment, you will get the opportunity to meet some of our colleagues from this consortium that we have. And we will touch upon the funding part. So our colleagues from Journalism Fund will introduce the fund and the opportunities, and we'll be ready to answer your questions about these new upcoming funding opportunities. And then we will have then we will have also quick presentations by our colleagues from the European Federation of Journalists and our colleagues from the Center for Media Studies at the Stockholm University in Riga. So each one of us will introduce the opportunities, and we hope that this is really beginning of some of a small community around these funding opportunities and the training opportunities. At this point, I would like to introduce my colleague, Jeremy Drucker, who's the Director of Transitions. And Jeremy will give a few words, just opening the discussion about your training needs, and then we will continue with the survey and with the assessment. So Jeremy, I know you're with us somewhere here.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm going to greet you unmasked, but I'm actually in a place where I need to be masked. So I will put my mask back on. Hopefully you can hear me. So as Yaro said, we are a media development organization. We run a online magazine covering Central and Eastern Europe, but we've also done training for probably about 20 years at this point. And we've done in all kinds of formats, online, offline, big workshops, larger conferences, all of that. But I think we recognize, and I think all of you who have gone through any kind of training realize that many workshops are not really designed always with what's most needed for the journalists out there. I think too often, and I'm sure we've been guilty of this in the past as well, we think we know what journalists need best, but we don't necessarily know if that's true or not. So what we wanted to do as part of this project is just have you fill out a quick survey telling us really precisely what you need. And like I said, we've done many types of trainings, but it's not necessarily always fitting such a diverse crowd as we have here today. And it's really great. We have really so many countries represented. So what we would like to ask you to do is take this quick survey. It's, I think, going to take you only about 5 minutes, and then we will 10 minutes. Okay, I got a 10-minute sign there. So about 10 minutes, maybe some of you will be faster, some slower, but then this will really help us to identify the priorities today. Not a year ago, not 5 years ago, but really what is needed today. And then we will design through this project a series of online live courses and also standalone exercises, meaning courses that you can take whenever you have time to take them. So that's the plan for the next 10 minutes. This is really crucial for us, and I hope will be helpful for you as you hopefully take part of the training opportunities that will be available through this brand. So the more you can tell us, the better, the more closely tailored these courses can be to your needs. And we really appreciate the time you can take to fill out the survey. So that's basically it. Thanks for being here. And I think Yaro is going to show you a little bit, just walk you through the survey so you can not waste any time with figuring out how it works. So thanks again for that, and for all the partners who are with us today.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jeremy. So I will now share the screen. I'll just show you the survey, and immediately after that, you will receive the link in the chat. So then please continue to the link and to the survey. So let me share my screen. I just want to give you a little context and background to make it easier for you to answer. So we're assessing the needs of you as journalists or media professionals. Please provide us with the email, full name, country, your position. We're really, hopeful to have this diverse group, not just reporters and journalists, but also other media professionals, producers, editors, managers, marketers, fundraisers. I think we have a diverse crowd here. So at the beginning, please try to kind of self-assess the level of skills that you have, right? So please use this scale from 1 to 10 points just to show us whether you are really junior, starting with investigative journalism with almost no experience, no skill, or all the other way, or going towards like really, being someone who has rich experience, maybe education and skills in investigative journalism or journalism in general. And then in the question 2, we're asking, we try to list several kind of training opportunities or training topics, and we would like to hear from you, like which ones are basically the top priorities for you. So skills or knowledge that you really would like to gain in the upcoming months during the training program. So feel free to indicate whether you have no interest or somewhat interested, or if you're interested, or if you are really excited about the opportunity. you will see the list of several training topics. And then always please provide any additional information, because obviously if we listed, all the topics, the list would be endless. So please feel free to type in, write down like any other specific ideas or needs that you have. That's going to be enormously helpful. In the question 3, we're asking about the format of the training, because obviously we can have different forms of the training. So we can have lectures with international expert speaker. We can have a lecture with a local speaker from your region. Maybe you might be interested in that more than having some international experts. Or what we can do is we can share, right? So we can have online meetups where the journalists and the media professionals meet together and exchange their ideas, their skills, exchange their lessons learned, good practices, whatever. So that's also possible to do. Or we can have some more like really practical hands-on online exercises, where you would really learn or get trained on using some specific tool or app, for example. So please keep that in mind. Or maybe you will want a mix of all of it. That's fine. Please indicate it in the survey. Again, if you have any additional ideas on the formats, please just write them down. And then, very important thing, we really would like to have this this whole thing that we're preparing as sharing the skills. And certainly many of you have certain skills or experiences that are incredibly unique and could be very helpful to the others. So we would like to hear from you. I'm sure you have some of these skills. So if you have them, if you have some interesting experiences running some specific investigations, using some specific skills, doing open source investigations, whatever, please let us know if you have these skills, and let us know if you are okay with sharing it with the others. Because really, again, we would like to do the training series not just about some top experts, teaching you to do something, but really have it as a kind of a community of good practice that exchanges ideas, exchanges the skills. And that's it. And then please, if you have any additional comments or ideas, please share them with us. So that's all from my side. And I hope and now I would like my colleague Dominique to share the link to the survey. I'm still sharing, sorry. Yeah, okay. So please, Dominique, if you can share the link to the survey in the chat, and please, everyone, go ahead. We will have a timer, 10 minutes. It should be enough for you to fill in the survey. If you don't manage to do it in 10 minutes, don't worry, don't panic. I mean, you can take your time and continue filling it even after the call. So there's the link in the chat from Dominique. I'm just trying to open it. It looks like it works for me. If you have any issues opening the link, please let us know. Please, can I have just some reactions from some of you that you did manage to open the link? Okay, I can see you nodding. So please go ahead. We'll have the timer, 10 minutes. Enjoy the timer. If you, for whatever reason, don't want to fill in the survey, just relax and enjoy the video in the timer. So please, Dominic, go ahead. Just an update to those of you who joined us just in the past few minutes or seconds. What we are doing now, we are filling in the needs assessment survey. Please go to the chat. You will see the link to the Google form. Open the link and please help us fill in the survey right now. We still have a couple of minutes that will be extremely useful for us. So again, if you joined just recently, go to the chat and open the link and please go ahead. We still have some new people joining us, which is great. So for those of you who joined us just recently, what we are doing at this moment, we're not just watching the funny animals, but we're actually filling out the form, which will help us to assess the needs of you as journalists that will help us to design the training programs. So please go to the chat, scroll a little bit up, and you will see a link to a Google form. And please go there and start filling in the information. It's going to be enormously helpful for us. And if you don't manage to fill it within this deadline, don't worry, keep it open and take your time after the call to complete the data inputs. Okay, I can see responses rolling in. Awesome. Please keep going. For those of you who just joined us, we're not just watching funny videos. We are filling out the survey. Please go to the chat. You will find the link to the survey. Please open it and let us know what your capacity building needs are. Okay, so the time is up. No more funny and cute animals. Thank you so much. Please keep filling in the survey. We have how many responses at this point? 50 responses, which is awesome. Please keep going. I can already on the first side see we have a lot of experiences within this group already. So I do believe there's going to be really exciting opportunity to run the trainings where we do actually share our experiences and our expertise together. Please, probably you do understand that this was a little trick on our side, because if we distributed the survey just via email, we would never get that many responses. So we wanted to use this opportunity to meet with you and spend the 10 minutes of your time this way to collect the responses. So now it's my great pleasure to introduce our colleague or colleagues from the Journalism Fund. I'm sure you are very much interested in the funding opportunities that are coming up. So please let me invite Ronald and Ides from the Journalism Fund to give you some more background and information about the Journalism Fund, about this whole project, and about the opportunities that are coming up. And again, please use chat to share who you are with others, but also use chat to ask any questions that you might have regarding the trainings or the funding. So, Ron, please go ahead.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Perfect. Perfect. Yes, thank you, Yaroslav. It's nice to be here. Like he said, my name is Ronald Tippin, and I'm the project coordinator for the local cross-border journalism grant program. And we really appreciate you joining us on this video. And here's my colleague and my boss. He does the brown. Sorry for mispronounce it. But briefly, if you don't know Journalism Fund.eu, it is a Brussels-based independent nonprofit organization incorporated by citizens in 1998, and it's dedicated to advancing independent cross-border investigative journalism across Europe in order to promote democracy. It ultimately serves the public interest, furthers accountability as well as transparency, and contributes to critical thinking and well-informed debate. We are an intermediary and firewall between donors and journalists, and the intermediary role is essential to enable donors to finance investigative journalism without affecting the credibility and independence of the journalists. We believe we are one of a kind, or as just one of 3 or maybe 4 organizations that focus on investigative journalism. We are the only one in Europe of this kind. The other 3, I think, funds for investigative journalism, which is US-based and only focused in the US. Dutch Fund for In-Depth Journalism, or Fonds Bijzondere Journalistiek Projecten, I guess focus mostly on Dutch issues, and also Luminate, or the International Fund for Public Interest Media, but they mostly support media outlet. And for us, we really focus on, again, intermediary and the firewall between donors and journalists, and we are really focusing on the investigative journalism. And we are glad that you're interested to learn more about this program, and we are eager to receive proposals from all of you. And you are all journalists and media professionals, so I don't want to bore you with too many details, but what I want to do is explain briefly what this project's about. And it's the same premise. You apply to obtain funding to work on your stories, but what is this grant program about? According to his book, Rahm Emanuel, I don't know if you've heard of him, former chief of staff for Obama, former mayor of Chicago, where I'm from. He argued that cities are the most ancient political institution, dating back thousands of years and have reemerged as the nation states of our time. He made it clear in his book that mayors are accountable to their voters to a greater degree than any other elected officials, and illuminates how progressives and centrists alike can best accomplish their goals by focusing their energies on local politics. If there's a lack of investigative journalism in the local level, how can we be certain that these local officials are accountable for their actions? As Emanuel has argued, that accountable to a greater degree. We need local journalists to hold local government officials accountable, but instead of just working alone, is there another city that's experiencing the same issue, even if they're different or have different outcome? Compare and contrast. So goes back to the next point. What are we looking for? There are no exact parameters in the kind of stories that we're seeking for this grant program. We really want to leave it up to you. In our minds, the shrinking of local journalism affected local coverage, which resulted in a diminished capacity to hold elected and other local leaders accountable, and a general disengagement from local politics. Not just political issues, but issues that could bring about change and hope in your local cities. Examples of change and hope: city of Medellin in Colombia. What was once famous for drug cartels, infamous for drug cartels, is becoming a city for innovation and technology. City of Lima in Peru. What was known as, unfortunately, a dangerous city, it is becoming a city of gastronomy. Or press freedom. Why City A has a better press freedom than City B? Just in that context, it's something similar to that. And I know no European cities are alike, but some cities could be experiencing the same issues, but in different way. Example, how does a city like Lubin, where I studied, deal with climate change versus the city of Graz, where I visited last summer in Austria? Or how does local politics in I don't know how to pronounce it, Reslo in Poland, deal with the influx of migrants versus a city in France, such as Lyon? It is to compare and contrast what works in those cities that could be applied to other European cities. And we are not only looking for this kind of stories to be written, but we are hoping to bring your stories into the European level. That's why we focus on cross-border collaboration. However, I wouldn't want you to focus too much, hoping that your story would be elevated to the European level. No, I would suggest to really focus on the local aspect of it in your city, and we'll see how it goes. And I know there's always the possibility that any local stories that you write about could be elevated again into the national or European level. And that is what we're looking for. We want to bring stories that might at the onset not be interesting nationally or even locally, but by forming partnership with another local journalist from another country, it could further expand its reach. And that's what we're hoping for. We want people to understand, to hear about what's happening in local cities in other countries and where those people are as well. So we want to bring new life to local coverage. What is happening in local cities? How are local cities coping with the influx of refugees? What are local cities doing to bring about change and steer the perception of outsiders into a positive one? With this in mind, how do other cities deal with such issues? There has to be an investigative aspect on your proposal. You have to dig deep how those issues came about and what the local government are doing to make those changes. National or even international outlets oftentimes relied on local reporting to add contents for their own coverage. We're looking for local issues that concern and related to Europe. However, when it comes to partnership, we welcome partnership with from non-EU countries. We want to bring compelling local issues into the European level to bring about change. And what we're looking for are reliable local news coverage in your own communities with a cross-border spin. That's the kind of stuff that we're looking for, and that's the kind of stuff that we're hoping that you will be able to provide and apply to get funding from this grant program. And we also have a mentorship program that allows you to work with other media professionals who have extensive experience in their own fields. So you can visit our website at journalismfund.eu for more info. And that's something that we always emphasize the benefits of it. And that's why I think it's worth checking it out. And of course, what the training programs that our partners will offer. And I just want to mention that this grant program is co-funded by European Union and Adesium Foundation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ron. I'm sure you have now multiple questions. I can already see some questions about the eligibility of countries. So please keep posting your questions in the chat. We'll do our best to answer your questions today during this session. If there's more questions that we can handle at this point, no worries. We will record the questions, we will prepare the answers, and we will share it with you via email after the event. Well, probably tomorrow, not today, but we'll do our best to provide the answers to your questions. So in the meantime, I would like to also introduce one of our other partners who couldn't join us live today. So please let me do a quick introduction of our partner, which is the Center for Media Studies at the Stockholm School of Economics in Riga. This partner has prepared a media management program for 20 media workers. So besides the journalism skills building, we also want to focus on this more like a media management and business type of training. So if you will be interested, if there are some of you who might be interested, this program is specifically developed for 20 motivated journalists and media professionals who are in the management position. It will be a mini MBA program. At the end of the program, you will have the opportunity to pitch your development ideas in front of an investor panel. It's going to be a 4-week mini MBA program for local news media managers. And there will be also training in business strategy, finance, leadership, and marketing included. There will be a lot of mentoring. It will be spread over the couple of months, so it should be hopefully possible for you to participate in this whole program. So the important thing are the dates. The call for applications is open. We will share with you the link in the follow-up email. The deadline for submissions is June 9th, so it's coming, but still there's plenty of time for you to prepare the application if you're interested. The participants should be selected by July the 26th, and you will be notified whether you were selected on August the 6th, and then starting October there will be the training modules. So again, I highly recommend this to those of you who are in the management positions and who would like to really kind of bring your media business into a new level. And it's my great pleasure to introduce our colleague from the European Federation of Journalists, Adrian Collin, who's here with us at this moment, and he will briefly introduce the part that the Federation is covering within our consortium. So Adrian, you're here, I can see you. Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you, Jaroslav. So my name is Adrian Collin. I'm project officer for the European Federation of Journalists. We represent 320,000 journalists in Europe, in 45 countries, and we represent obviously association and trade unions of journalists, let's say in the Council of Europe area. Within this specific program, the EFJ is going to focus largely on the safety aspect of investigative reporting. Over the years, the EFJ and the IFJ, the International Federation, we were very much focused on, I would say, general safety training, general safety consultancy, but we see a clear need to develop as well specific training components for investigative reporters. This has been already organized in the past. And so it is really a tailor-made training for investigative reporter that we are going to deliver as part of this program. So the aim of the EFJ will be to allow 30 journalists, investigative reporters, to take part in the training. This would be open for investigative reporters and also for the beneficiaries of the grant program that will be led by the Journalism Fund, so that we can equip journalists with the capacity to really take care of their safety and not put their lives at risk whenever they work on local stories that they investigate. So that's a very important aspect for us to develop risk assessment skills. So that will be really the main focus of the course. And this will be organized for 2 groups of 15 participants each. And on top of that, we also going to provide ad hoc safety consultancy service, which will be available for journalists who are working on investigative stories and would like individual consultation with a safety consultant that we are hiring for this program. This safety consultant is a media safety expert, has been working in the field for more than 20 years. So he knows exactly what are the journalistic needs when it comes to protecting their lives while doing investigative work. Obviously, we are very open as well to hear from the different participants that are taking part in this call about the specific safety needs when it comes to investigation. Obviously, we can adapt, let's say, the program that we have in mind. Obviously, risk assessment, what is a risk assessment? How do you identify threats? Digital security, surveillance, anti-surveillance. These are the type of training modules that we are able to deliver. But obviously, so it would be important for us as well to get the feedback from participants to let us know what they actually need as well in terms of safety. So I would think these are the main two activities that we are going to carry, and we very much looking forward to work with all of you in the very near future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Adrian. So yes, I can see already the questions coming in via chat. So the remaining time that we now have is really dedicated to any of your questions. So we'll do our best to answer some of your questions now. But again, if we don't manage to do it now, or if we need to find more data to answer, we'll do it after the call. So apparently there are a lot of questions about the country's eligibility. No surprise, we were struggling with that as well, because the list of countries kind of changes. It's the countries that are in the Creative Europe program, but some of the countries are accessing this Creative Europe program. Some of them were newly accepted at this point. So for example, Bosnia and Herzegovina and Tunisia is currently on the list of eligible countries. So maybe Ron and Ides, if you have any answers to some of those questions about the eligibility. Some of the participants on the call here are outside of the eligible countries list. We still invited you to come in because there's a possibility for you to partner with someone from the eligible countries, right? So that's why we didn't kick you out. We still want you here. If you will have some ideas, it will be certainly interesting to some to have some collaborations also with your countries. But Ron, Ides, please, if you have any additional thoughts, please.
No, thank you. I've seen a lot of the questions so far, and yes, there's a lot of questions about eligibility. And I have received emails from people about eligibility. And one thing I can mention is, like I mentioned in the chat, is that yes, non-EU countries or non-EU parts from based on that information I sent are eligible to apply, but you have to partner with European with an eligible country, journalists from eligible countries. And it's also important that it has a European aspect to it. Even someone from Bangladesh, which I see there, if there is a way to connect an issue from Europe into Bangladesh, that is acceptable. But again, that person, let's say someone from Bangladesh, has to apply with someone from the eligible countries. So I know it can be tricky about this, and maybe some things will change, but right now it's important that there's a European angle to it, preferably local angle, your local European angle to it, and of course, eligible from those countries.
Yeah, if I may add, the spirit, of course, of this grant program is to stimulate local journalists in Europe in the first place, and that's why the European Commission is also supporting this. So this is, of course, the main issue. So we preferably we will support this, but if there is an interesting story that is very much in the interest of the European public, of course, I think that the jury who is an independent jury, that probably the jury will maybe approve it. So you have to convince a professional jury of 4 journalists, and you of course are competing with other applications and other applicants.
Exactly. But yes, I mean, keep them coming, and if once we see them, we'll answer them.
Okay, thank you. Please, if anyone has a question and you don't like to type, feel free to turn on your mic so that we can hear you, see you, and feel free to ask the question this way.
You want to answer this one? Oh, by the way, it's we have also other grant programs at Journalism Fund. So if you think your project doesn't fit into the local cross-border grant program, you can also look at our website, grants.journalismfund.eu, and see if other projects fit in. So you have there also environmental grant programs and our European cross-border grant program, who's maybe a bit more flexible in terms of location. Okay.
And one of the questions about advices on how to connect, on our website at journalismfund.eu, we have a tab that's named journalists, and you can research the people that are in there, and you can connect with them directly. And that's our best advice, to connect with other journalists that could help you to work on this application.
Or you can contact Journalism Fund and ask for some advice. If you look for a partner in another country, we will help to find you, and we will look for somebody we think can be a very good partner.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that's an important point. Ron, Ides, if you can check some of the other questions in the chat. Karina, I saw you raising hand. Please unmute your microphone and feel free to ask.
Hi, yeah, thanks for taking my question. I did posted it in a chat as well, but great to be able to speak to you directly. I was just wondering, when listing the number of things we're asking money for, would reporting work be involved? Because sometimes travels and costs and expenses are covered, but not necessarily the days you spend researching. And if you're a freelancer, that's very important. Thank you very much.
Yes, hi Krian, nice to see you again. Indeed, we have not only expenses to cover, but also we have some budget to cover the time. Indeed, so that's also for those who are on the payroll. It's important to know that also we can support some people who are already on the payroll to take over for a while and support them in that sense. Okay,
that's super good news. Thank you.
All right.
And there's a question about a fixed number of applications. There's really no fixed number of applications per round. We all go through them with him and me. We all go through them, and then we decide which ones would go through the jury, and the jury is all on them. We don't once it goes through the jury, we don't touch them.
Yeah, of course, we just check the eligibility.
Exactly.
That's the only thing we do.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, that's what I.
Content-wise, not.
Thank you. Someone else, if you have questions, raise your hand so that I can see you. But let me ask some of the questions that we collected from the chat from you. So do we have to focus specifically on a city, or can we use a large town as the focus of our investigation? Are regional centers of public service broadcasters eligible? Ron, Ides, do you have any thoughts on this?
The first one is about the cities. Of course, depends a bit of where you live, and some provinces could also be interesting to focus on. It's regional journalism, it's local journalism. While a city with 1 million people is something completely different than a province from time to time, but it's interesting to compare. It's not that we will only support projects in a city,
Yeah, exactly.
but also the regional approach is interesting.
But like I said earlier, it's all about finding ways to connect them, either compare or contrast, or how you connect that story with another journalist from another country. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's a rural or urban. If there's a way, if there's an interesting story from that, then feel free to apply.
Yeah, and in the first place, we are looking for journalists, professional journalists, and media. Most of them local media. That's preferred. We are looking for the local media outlets, small ones. I think they need this kind of support the most. And also, of course, we're looking for in-depth stories. So not the daily reporting.
And there's a question about how long does it take before the pitches go to the jury. So in our first round, we have the 9th of June as the first round of for the first round deadline, and takes about
5 weeks, yeah.
For us, 4 or 5 weeks before it goes to the jury, and then we will respond. Whatever the result from there, we respond about a week after it goes to the jury. It does to the applicants either if they move forward or not. So we will inform them that.
Yeah, 6-7 weeks after the deadline,
yeah,
you receive an answer, and then it can go very quickly. We make a contract, and we have a contract meeting, and then the day that everybody has signed the contract, the first part of the grant is put on the account.
Exactly.
It can go quite fast.
Okay, thank you. There's a question about the jury. Who's on the jury? I don't know.
Okay, good question. We have juries that are anonymous, and we don't talk about it as long as the project is running. And then afterwards, we publish the names of the jury. They are professional journalists from all over Europe. That's the way we work with all our grant programs. The reason why that is to make that firewall as solid as possible. So we have a long list of names of potential jury members that go to our board, and even though our board doesn't know, in fact, who are the 4 jury members of this grant program. So that because of that firewall, so that's why we don't want to share it with the applicants as long as this project is running.
Yes.
But if you want to know about the profiles, you can see the jury members who left already our grant programs to have an idea what kind of people they are.
Mhm. Okay, then we have a question again, the eligibility specifically, for example, Center for Investigative Journalism of Serbia is based in the capital of Belgrade, and it covers the national level. So it's not a media located in a small city in Serbia and connected to the local community. So are they eligible for this grant or not?
Yes, they are eligible to apply. Like with medias, if you are a media, you can apply as well, but you have to understand you have to partner with someone, another media outlet or freelance journalist from another country that to create that story. So again, I cannot stress this enough. There has to have that cross-border collaboration as well as a local aspect to it. So
yeah. And then I see also an interesting question about the application. So we have a fantastic application platform. For one application, you can invite colleagues in other countries, and you work on that application with all of them. So that indeed you only have to apply once, and you have to include all the partners you want to collaborate with.
the same thing with 4 cities.
Yeah, with 4, yeah.
With 4 cities.